Ready to go with our Gixer Cup here today, and just after that quick incident, nice to see the Hamilton Club and their officials clearing the track. Special congrats to Hamilton and hosting this final round. Nice to have the Hamilton Club, well-established road race club in New Zealand. Some amazing history of a great club over the years. Events for me, including the Round the Lakes race in the centre of Hamilton back in the 80s. One of the highlights of the Hamilton Club events for me. So away we go with this incredible Gixer Cup. Look at it, Jared, still growing, still increasing the numbers, and still some great racing.
Absolutely love this class, Neil. The great thing with Ctas Live, I've been scooting over at Pyro to Mark Ross's partner's house and watching this, and there's my boy out in front, Blake Ross, White Line, proud to sponsor him, and big thank there to Mark White and John White from White Line for giving this kid an opportunity, and same with all of the other sponsors for making this class possible and giving these guys an opportunity. And it's great to have this young talent coming into the sport.
It is indeed, and of course the class, it's all to promote it. It's exactly the concept of what Simon Mead at Suzuki wanted, and a huge thanks to Simon and Suzuki for their support. Starting this summer with the Gixer Cup is for the riders between the ages of 14 to 21. It's sitting there race tracks with identical GSX 150F bikes, and of course production racing at its best. Amazingly less than 20 horsepower. I think that's a feature of this. When people in the car fraternity would hear like this would be the old days of mini racing that a lot of us have got memories of in New Zealand, or even not knocking brands or anything, but we had little Nissan Sentras and other small capacity cars. Well, this is what the bikes have done, to come right back here to this grassroots level, and at 150 the whole package that you can buy for under $6,000, including your helmet and all your gear. And you got a young guy like Blake who before, but all of a sudden it's Blake Ross. We're going to know this kid at the end of the series now, Jared.
He's a great kid, and it's nice to see young people coming along, and it's real rewarding as a rider or a mentor or whatever I'm meant to be, to come along and tell a kid, hey, try this, and then when he exceeds your expectations, boy, it's a rewarding job. So I put it out there to the other riders, go out there, put back into the sport and help some young guys and give them a leg up like we've all had.
Here, Jared, great words indeed as we come down the straight, and it looks like we're in for a nice little battle there with the two up to come into the corner, and nobody wants to give way for that one. Then we've got a fantastic group. Look at the fight for that second place. We're going to look to a very good 1-2 here at the moment as we look to those battles, and the tight run will go. In fact, look at that for the change there on the outside. Might have been the up. Aidan, I think that's Blake that we've seen just pip there a little bit at the moment. Is that Blake that's gone back, or is that?
Looks like Newton, I think, and Blake Ross there. The two of them are looking pretty dominant. Had a little bit of controversy yesterday with Jesse Stroud missing the weight limit, so being disqualified. Look at that pass round turn 2. He's not giving it in. These two came together. Jesse Stroud was out in front a little bit yesterday, but the result got changed around, so Blake actually took that race. Jesse's missing in this one, but boy, these two are going hammer and tongs.
All right, so in that next big group that we've got over there, we've got Harry Parker to lead it, the young man from Timaru, so nice work from him. Believe it or not, now 16 riders in this class are growing all the time. One of those two have come down over there that Spider's just got there. And I was just going to cross over to Spider, but he's still looking with those glasses. And we've got a newcomer in there, Manua 2, Shane Miller on the Courtesy Motorcycles, Suzuki, with Clark Fountain out of Greymouth, Scott Hawkes in there, also in that big group of riders. And I tell you what, there's got to be some nudging going on there. There had to be some paint scraping with a group, 5, 6 or 7 of them, Jared, like that?
Oh, it's great to see. Isn't it good to see, like at the start of this class, everyone came out, everyone's been tentative. There hasn't been any lap records, so every time they go to the track, there's a brand new lap record up for grabs, and the racing is getting better. The boys are improving, it's becoming tighter, and everyone thought, oh, 150s, it's exciting. It's like a set of seagulls going 5 wide and stuff, trying to get into the corners, and they're trying everything to win. All
right, so we're looking at this battle at the moment. It is between Blake Ross and Thomas Newton. I thought for a minute that it was Thomas that had pipped Blake when they came across the line, but in fact it was still the advantage to Blake Ross. So obviously at some point they had passed, and then they changed back again. Here's the duel coming down here. We look at the cars in the background. They're doing more than 100 kilometres an hour on the straight. You know that, because they're doing faster than the cars are coming down through there. And look at this, they've even cleared out. Oh no, there's a nice little trio in there now. Oh, no, it's four of them in there for this run for third place. Great to watch us. Here we go again. Look out for Thomas and Blake here as we go. Nothing. In fact, there'll be a change. That's Thomas. I think that's Thomas that's got the advantage, so look out for it. So there we go. Oh no, it is back to Blake. My apology. Oh no, I've got it wrong. So there you go as we look to dice it through there. And Spider, you've been keeping an eye on that next group.
I've been keeping an eye on times, particularly 3/100ths of a second between first and second. Outstanding riding, but this absolute big group all the way through. A lot of it's about slipstreaming. They go down that big straight. That's important, and that'll be a last lap feature. You'll see people backing off because they want to get that drive of the slipstream and that. And we're talking about speeds. Neil was just alluding to speeds. I checked the cemetery circuit. The average speed of the GixerR 150 Cup, so their first time ever there, newcomers to street circuit, 90% of them, was 88 kilometres an hour. The average speed for a superbike was 117 kilometres an hour. So the corner speed, so that shows you that they might look slow on the track, but the dicing is absolutely fantastic, and the actual speed is quite up there at somewhere like the cemetery circuit.
In fact, just watching it, the guys, you want to see their racecraft. Fantastic to watch it out. What I call thigh racing, because all that's hanging on the bike is the thigh. So they've got the body leaning right over and holding the bike up, because if they get the bike to go down any lower, it'll be something to catch them out.
Well, looking at timing, we don't have a lap record for this at the moment. We got a lap time yesterday. We don't have it on us. Now, some people will remember that the Suzuki Series, the GixerR Cups came here. We don't have a lap record for that simply because they run on a different circuit. They clipped off that long loop up the top. So here's the first time to set this, but right now Taupo Walker is the fastest man, back in 5th place. He's had a few wins this season, and I noticed his mother Cairo has come over from Australia to see the final racing. It's great, and she's been watching Ctas from Australia and really enjoying the coverage and the ability to be able to watch from another part of the countryside, another part of the world. But that battle down that long straight, there's the two bikes here. They're about 150 metres ahead. There was 3/100ths of a second as they went across the line. There's probably a little bit more, maybe 2 bike lengths, and that's all it takes. But 3 wide going through that big chicane there. There's 6 bikes in that little battle. There's 6 bikes amongst that. So right now going across the start-finish line.
Right, it is Blake to go with Thomas, and then looking at the next one, because there's been a change here at this stage, and it's Taupo Walker. Taupo Walker's the one who's moving up. He's gone into 4th place, but Harry Parker still holds it, so it's Harry with that advantage. And look at that, is that Taupo Walker maybe coming right around the outside? Somebody to come right around the outside, and oh, look at the slice and dice, because we saw Harry go back up on the inside again. No, can't quite make the move. So I think that's Taupo over Harry. Harry's the one with those bright colours there. He's the commentator's dream. And then we've got somebody looking at run for the 3rd in that group, 5th overall, the trio going in there, turn 4, then we go off to 5, the corner that you can just throw the bike through, because it just has that beautiful exit of it, and it keeps the momentum up to come down. You glance over here and all of a sudden you see 1 bike, but no, there's actually 2, because perfectly in the silhouette of each other. So there we go with Blake. I think that's still a Blake advantage, or is it Thomas has got the black helmet. Thomas is the one with the complete black helmet, and the lighter colour is with Blake. That's about all the difference you can see, Spider.
Well, the only other difference, because all these bikes are relative match, and because of the helmet leather packages, they're on relatively similar Alpine Stars leathers and helmets. Is the odd difference, but Blake Ross has got the yellow mudguard as well. And when we go back to that next group, we've got Harry Parker, who's got orange wheels and an orange belly pan, and Taupo Walker has a dark red colour on his fairing. Hard to pick up, but it certainly is a point of difference. So the battle going on. Meanwhile, Blake Ross is back out with the fastest lap, a 2:04.142, a 2:04.304 for Thomas Newton in that last lap, a 2:05.709 for Taupo Walker there amongst that pack. And you could see that group of about 5 or 6 riders. Taupo was almost at the back, but he put in the fastest lap of the race and moved forward, and we can see them coming down that long straight. Can't quite identify the colours as the 2 lead bikes there, Blake Ross and Thomas Newton. I don't know who's who at the moment. It's Blake in the front as they go through that chicane. It'll be tight as we've got 2 laps to go. So the white flag is ready for these guys. But that massive group of 6 riders, ding-donging it out, just about touching. Thomas Newton in front, 34, and a gap of 4/100ths of a second. Well, look, there's a break for the man in 3rd place by 5 bike lengths. That's the biggest break in this group we've had, I think, there, Jared Love.
We have 1 lap to go, and these are the top 2, 1st and 2nd at the moment in the championship. So it comes down to 1 lap. Who wants this one? Is it going to be Blake Ross, or is it going to be Thomas Newton?
In fact, the big mover, has been Clark Fountain. Looking out for Clark. We weren't even calling Clark in the racing before, and it's Clark Fountain. He's the one that's come through in that group. So, first of all, when we had Taupo Walker in 5th, that means that Clark had to be at least in 6th place, and there he is now in 3rd and leading that next group to go through. So, good work by him as he's muscled his way through there. The young 14-year-old, he's the youngest in this entire class. The young kid from Greymouth, and somebody to go down over there, a bit of a puff of dust. I can tell you what Clark Fountain's added to his bow in the last week. Backflip flipped a 85cc motocross bike into a foam pit. All right, so Levi Sherwood, look out, he's coming. So there you go.
2 beer glasses last night, but right now onto the track. It is championship time. Thomas Newton leads by 46 points. There's 25 points available at the moment, so the championship is going to be decided in this race. So it's on the last lap. They're right up around turn 11. So the championship is going to be decided 189 or 143. There's 50 points available between this race and the next one. But, of course, DNFs can happen. It's still a bit of racetrack to cover there, Neil Ritchie.
Yes, indeed, and exciting to watch too as we come down for the bike battles. Good to pick up on the point spider as we look for what's going on in the battle. Remember, of course, we've got to drop the worst round. So we've still got that whole equation. And remembering this series as well, this series is actually, of course, covers the Suzuki series. So it's not just NZSBK. The Gixer Cup, as it's called, covers Suzuki series and this together. And remember, people like Clark Fountain were legally too young to race on the streets of Wanganui. So that's the one that he drops as he's looking to be that next in the group as we look out for the battle. Oh, Blake or Thomas, look at that, two of them together. Blake's got the advantage, bike length in front. He's got to buy a bike length over the run from Thomas Newton and the champion as well. But here we go. Oh, look at that, moving right out of the slipstream. Want to keep out of the way. Tarbin's got it, then go to Clark and then back to Harry Parker. I think it'll be the order of that next three as we look to, but of course they'll officially be third, fourth and fifth at the moment. So Blake Ross and the title, well done there. Thomas, Tarbin, Clark, Harry, then go to Shane Miller, Matt Browen there, Will Derby, Hoffman, Michael Wilson. Disappointed in that performance, I'm sure, for the Southern Suzuki ace, but great to see him in that group. That's that entire group, and unfortunately we couldn't pick all their names at all of the times, but remembering with 6 or 7 of them in that group, it was just sensational to watch over there, and if there wasn't any paint that has been swapped on that, I don't know when there'll ever be. That's why we love the Gixer Club, Jared Love.
Watching that last lap, 2:03.9, I think that's going to be a new little lap record there, and that goes along with his second win there. But losing the championship, what a great fought championship between those two. Blake Ross there taking his second win for the weekend though.
Right, and it's always good to have a lot of support in the New Zealand Championships, and we've got to acknowledge Suzuki, particularly Simon Mead, for bringing this class, but also Suzuki New Zealand for their support right throughout the fields, including the superbikes and the 600s, and of course this Gixer Cup's absolutely outstanding, and there's still bikes available to buy, so get ready for the next championship. They are usable at sub racetracks in other classes at all around New Zealand. Honda cars, Manawatu for supplying the safety car, that Type R, I think, Civic Turbo. It's an absolutely outstanding wagon and a good facility. We saw it when Dan Jenkins went down. That was over there straight away with a medic in there. You know, it takes time to get the ambulance out of pit lane. So absolutely beautiful car, absolutely amazing car too. Pirelli, Alan Napier, nationwide accessories for Pirelli. And of course, Grant Collins.